address a major storm event that impacted Draper City last night and overnight, and the effects that that has had on our residents and on public infrastructure. I'd like to start by introducing Mayor Troy Walker, and then he will be followed by David Dobbins, Draper City Manager, and he will be followed by Scott Baird, Salt Lake County Public Works Director.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you. I wish we weren't having a press conference. We've certainly had our share of water this year in Draper, so this is yet another event. I do want to tell you, so last night, it seemed to be about 9:45-ish, just as it was getting dark, that big storm came across and hit our community. And I've heard reports of it to be upwards of ahead of 2 inches, more than 2 inches of rain in under an hour. So it was, I think the term is a big storm, to be fair. At my own house, I remember watching out my front porch and thinking I've never seen it rain this hard before in Draper. So I kind of had an idea that it might be an issue because it was a lot of water in a hurry. So we had, as its first cell kind of passed over, I got out, our fire chief came and picked me up, and we went out and started looking at the various areas of our city that were damaged. And so it looked to be fairly extensive and probably expensive that early in the morning. And so I declared a state of emergency in Draper City, and we then set up our emergency operations center, and then we began to coordinate resources. And I do want to say that a lot of times people say government doesn't work for you, doesn't work very well together. But I do want to tell you this. I got a hold of Mayor Wilson early in the morning at about midnight, or a little before 1 a.m., and within, I think it was less than an hour, Salt Lake County we already had equipment on the ground here in Draper helping us. So I want to tell you, Salt Lake County and our agreements with them in emergency management, our mutual aid agreements, they couldn't have done a better job for us. Absolutely stood up and were there to help us immediately. Outstanding. We appreciate them very, very much. We could not have done what we've been able to do since the storm passed without Salt Lake County's help. And so I want to give them credit. They were as good to work with as anybody we've ever worked with, and we really appreciate them. Our crews were out as well. We had most all of our police officers on duty by 2 a.m. last night. Our fire department was performing all types of assistance and aid, from getting people out of cars that were underwater to looking at people's homes and responding to calls. So it was a busy night. We did receive some pretty extensive damage to some of our public infrastructure, roads and things like that. So we're in the middle of assessing that. I had an opportunity the governor and I were texting back and forth early. He was concerned, and I want to thank Governor Cox for also being willing to provide whatever assistance we needed here in Draper. Other mayors, Lehigh, Sandy, neighboring mayors were reaching out to me and wanting to provide help. So it's a good place to be, to know that we're all there to help each other and move things along. But as far as what we've been able to accomplish overnight, it's pretty good. All the roads are open. Mr. Dobbins is going to talk to you a little bit about the numbers and what we're looking at. But it was a yeoman's effort by all the crews, and I can't thank the county enough for being quick and just being there for us. It was quite amazing to see the force of Mother Nature and the things water can do in a short amount of time. It was really quite amazing. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Dobbins, our city manager. He'll give you a little more details on some of the things you probably want to know. But I just want to again say we're grateful for our mutual aid agreements and our assistance, and for everyone wanting to help. And the other thing is, like I said in the beginning, this has been a year for water in our city. We've had groundwater issues that were significant. All of you covered. We had another event last night that caused a lot of damage to people's homes. There's a number of folks in our community, I don't know how many yet, they had their basements flooded again, some of them. So the damage, that's been done to people's homes, we are aware of it, and we appreciate it. And we're going to do what we can as far as directing resources and opportunities for people to get assistance there. But our heart's out to them. I know what it feels like myself. My own house was damaged last night from it, so I can sympathize with our residents. And again, this year, it's an unprecedented year of water. So we just want to say, we're doing our best to keep our public infrastructure going, get it open, get things back to normal as fast as we can. Mr. Dobbs.
Good afternoon, David Dobbins. I'm the city manager for Draper City. As Mayor Walker indicated, all roads are open now. Bangerter Parkway has one lane going southbound. One lane was damaged on the west side of the road. That will be out of use for some time until we assess it and determine what needs to be fixed. There was a home on Rambling Road that we've received questions about. That family self-evacuated. Our building official has been out on site and has determined that the house is not in imminent danger. They will need to make some repairs. Also, we've had some questions regarding the homes up in Suncrest, the Edge homes. Those homes, that area continues to be safe. The work that's been done has not been damaged from what we can tell so far. Our storm drain system is capable of handling a typical storm, and as Mayor Walker said, this was not a typical storm in any regard. We do have a web page in progress where we are asking residents to go in and submit information about any damage that their property has had. We're going to collect that data to try and help determine if we are eligible for any government programs, state or federal, and so we're asking people to submit that information to see if there would be anything available for private property owners. If anyone does observe any other damage to roads or sidewalks, city roads and infrastructure, we've set up an email that they can send that information to so our crews can get out, and that is engineering@draperutah.gov. And again, as Mayor Walker said, we want to thank everyone who's helped us. Scott Cooley, our Public Works Director, has done a lot. We do have people from the Salvation Army here to also talk about assistance that they could offer to private property owners. But with that, I want to turn some time over to Scott Baird, who is the Salt Lake County Public Works Director.
Thank you. I'll just mention some of the work that Salt Lake County was able to do. Our work started during the storm with our flood control crews. Before we had contact with Draper City, just our flood control crews were out on the creeks, watching the culverts, making sure the creeks were clear and could carry the flows, also monitoring and operating our detention basins. And then so they were out there working, and they worked into the early hours of the morning. About midnight was when I got the call from the Salt Lake County Mayor's office asking if we could help. That Draper City had asked for help from the county, and so we were able to provide additional crews with our Public Works Operations Division, and we provided between Public Works Operations and Flood Control, we provided several dump trucks, some loaders, backhoes, sweepers, and other equipment, probably about 25 employees that helped out on this event. And I just want to give a shout out to all of our employees and the Draper employees. There's people here right now that have been up all of yesterday and all night last night working, and the amount of work and effort and dedication is something I'm very grateful for. These mutual aid agreements that we have between different municipalities and jurisdictions, this is exactly why they exist, because when our resources become overwhelmed, we can call on another municipality to come in and help, and then those things are in place and those agreements are in place. So with that, just thank you.
Hey, as mentioned, we plan to have further updates throughout the day today. The first update that we would like to distribute will be related to that web page where residents can report personal property damage and see some details about processes related to that. So we will hope to have that within the next couple of hours. And at this time, we'll take any questions that you have for any of our representatives here today. I just want to mention also, by the way, I'm Linda Peterson, the Communications Director. I don't think I said my name at the beginning, but we do have photos and video that we're compiling, and I believe all of you have probably already gotten photos and videos. But if you have a need in that regard, please reach out to me, and we'll see what we can get together in the next hour or so. Any questions?
Mayor, a question for you about the declaration. What does the declaration do?
Well, the main thing the declaration did was it got us all coordinated in one spot and got our response going. The second thing it does is it gives us the opportunity to get maybe some other grant money or state, federal money to help us with the disaster. That's sort of the first step to being able to get some extra funds outside of what Draper has.
That's not like that state and federal money.
Oh no, we haven't gotten to that part. That was step one. I mainly did it because we needed to coordinate between public works and public safety. And I do want to say, Scott, walk over here for a minute if you would, please. I realized when I was talking to you that I didn't mention public works, and they're in the background because they do such an amazing job. Scott's our public works director. We've all been up all night, but Scott was really our crews. We have a small staff. I mean, we're not a big city, but I want to tell you we have some really good people, and Scott was one of the ones that was able to coordinate with Salt Lake County. And so, I hope our residents understand we just have some amazing folks that really know how to do their job, and Scott was one. And they came up with a snowplow idea. We were using a snowplow to move debris, and it worked pretty well. That was, we were just looking for ways in the middle of the night to solve it. But the declaration was really to start that process, mostly coordinate ourselves, but then give us a potential in the future.
Mr. Mayor, congratulations. It all seemed to work really well today. What happens next time? What happens in the future? Hundreds of $1 million homes generating hundreds of millions of dollars in tax base. How do you reassure these homeowners? What can you do to fix or better improve infrastructure? This will not be the last weather event.
No, we had one similar in size to this about a decade ago. A couple of big thunderstorms met over Lone Peak and filled one of those drainages with a lot of water in a hurry. Like I say, you plan for the systems the way we municipalities plan. We look at the kind of storms we have and what we expect down the road. But I think the weather's changing. I mean, we're getting more of these storms. I mean, I don't think you can deny that. We keep our infrastructure clean and operating, and we're always looking to keep it open, keep it flowing. I mean, for the most part, our infrastructure did its job. I mean, if you could have seen the amount of water that storm system was actually moving, it was impressive. Our detention basins did their job. So they there's just a few spots where it overwhelmed some of the connections and the system. But yeah, we're going to look to the future, obviously, to figure out, is this something we're going to have to keep planning for? Are these supposed 100-year storms happening a lot more often? Anecdotally, you would think they are. So we've all governments have got to look at what that means, the climate change.
That's just something residents are going to have to learn to deal with and live with. I mean, other areas had similar amounts of rain last night and have certain damage.
Yeah, I think the difference was over 2 inches for us in under an hour, so it was a lot of rain. It's just, it was a lot of rain. I don't know how else to tell you. It was just, I got a lot of other words I can't use on TV, but it was a lot of rain.
Federal money, do you need federal money? Can you tell right now whether you're going to have to call in some organizations to help with cleanup or any of that?
To be honest with you, we've got it pretty close to cleaned up as far as what we know. So what we're going to need help with is the repair. One of the roads is going to be a significant fix to get it back completely operational. I don't know how much money it's going to cost yet. We don't know yet. It's more than we wanted to spend, I can tell you that.
So it seems like things are pretty well wrapped up, except for a couple of roads and some homeowners that have flooded basements.
Yeah, as far as we know, I mean, everybody's out looking now at different parts of our infrastructure. Some of our trails might have been damaged a little bit from it. We haven't got 100% of it figured out yet, but the commuting roads, the getting people back and forth to work and home, and that they got that done last night. So I mean, it was good hard work by them, amazing work.
Mary, I know you don't have like a number yet of how many homeowners were affected, but is there like a ballpark estimate?
I don't have a ballpark. I don't know.
Okay. Is that gonna just depend on how many people respond to that website that you all?
Yeah, we would like if you did get damage from the storm, we would like to collect the data for sure. It'll help us plan and look to the future, see where the areas. Like I said, there's probably homes that got flooded this time that haven't been flooded in a long time. There's probably some that have been flooded before this year got flooded again. So, I feel for those folks. I mean, I know what that's like a little bit. So,
Tell us a little bit about the flooding that you experienced. You said your own home had some flooding damage.
I actually haven't really had a chance to go look at it. It's mostly one of my corner basement rooms. It looks to have damaged almost one entire wall. I don't have carpet, so I don't have to worry about that. But I haven't really had a chance to. I was here till 5 a.m. and then just woke up, so I haven't really had a chance to look at it yet.
That you know of, no families have been displaced, correct?
Have been displaced?
Yeah.
Only the one family Mr. Dobbins mentioned
Okay.
on their own, of their own accord.
Right.
They went and stayed with some family, and so their house is the one closest to that sort of big chunk of the sand side hill that collapsed.
Thank you.
You mentioned the events throughout the year, you know, the flooding last winter, and then you had the homes falling off the cliff, and now this.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Is Draper cursed?
No, we're it feels like it sometimes. No, it's a lot of you know. I got up this morning, realized I was going to see all your happy faces, and I thought I could use about 6 months without it. Not that I don't like you, but we've had a lot of events. I mean, it's been a crazy year for us. So yeah, I'm not going to go with cursed like Malahi says. I'm going to say we're learning how to deal with challenges.
But should some of these homes not been built where they've been built on these steep slopes?
Well, we've had that discussion before on the ones that have collapsed. I mean, look, you get rain like this, and it doesn't matter where you're. You know, if you have a gutter backed up. I mean, I can tell you in my case, I think my problem is a storm gutter or storm drain gutter on my house. I'm not sure yet, but I mean, there's just a lot of things that could cause it. Whether a house should be built where it's built, I mean, that's a whole. We don't have enough time for that discussion. So, yeah, I think most of the stuff that happened is a high intensity rain event. And that's what the flooding was.
Would you guys say that you planned ahead for this specific incident? You guys were fast enough, or could it have been worse?
Could it have been worse? Oh yeah, we could have had more road washout on Bangor Parkway. We could have had, you know, maybe it could have undermined the foundation, you know, up there on Rambling Road. Could have definitely been worse. But it, you know, it's hard in the middle of the night to really get a grip on what it is. But it moved a lot of material. That's what was amazing to me. It was the force of Mother Nature, especially water. I mean, you're talking, our fire chief put like 7 manhole covers on coming down one road. Every manhole cover just flying off in the air. Because the stormwater system was moving water, and it was moving a lot of water. So it could have been a lot worse. As far as I know, no one was hurt. We had some vehicle damage. Folks were driving over, you know, rocks and debris and some of that, but I don't know that nobody got hurt. That's the best part. No one got injured. So we're really happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to follow up with me with any other questions you may have today. And as I said, we'll be pushing out regular updates as we have new information. So, representative from the Salvation Army is here if anyone has questions about their relief that they're offering. Thank you so much.
Thank you.